Alright, hello everyone, and welcome back to my Fallout 4 Mod Spotlight series, where today we are having a look at the Black Ops Cold War Nail Gun mod, which is being made by user Mr. Try. And what this glorious little piece of work looks to add into the game is, well, exactly what it says in the name, the Nail Gun from Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, which is kind of weird for me to be looking at, because generally I avoid any mods that add in stuff from games like Call of Duty, because, well, you guys know me and my personal aesthetic. I'm not a fan of modern weapons in Fallout. I think it looks weird, but this is a nail gun, a perfect improvised weapon for a post-apocalypse, and we have, of course, seen nail guns in the franchise in the past from H&H Tools, so I think it is pretty appropriate and fun. So let's jump on over here and have a look at what we do get with the nail gun, which in its most basic and standard form will do 15 damage with, of course, nails, with a firing rate of 40, range of 107, accuracy of 75, and a weight of 1.8. Not too bad there. And as you can see, this thing is gorgeous. It certainly looks the part of, you know, a nail gun. Very nice on the modeling and texturing, and yeah, it's just a very appropriate and cool looking nail gun with custom animations for this thing and even custom sounds, which is all very nicely added in, which I do very much like. And does of course have a decent sized mod list over here, not the most expansive ever, but enough to make this thing more useful into the later game, giving it more damage, etc., and also doing fun Fallout-esque things like, you know, making it a fully automatic flaming nail gun launcher, or well, flaming nail launcher. Yeah, it's weird, and I like it. It is appropriate to Fallout. Now, as for how you do get your hands on one of these lovely things, well, there are a few different ways. First and foremost, you can go to any chemistry station in the world and craft yourself some, so long as you have rank 2 and gun nut, as well as some adhesive aluminum, plastic screws, spring, and steel, and you'll have your very own nail gun. Now, I should also add here, there is an optional file you can also download for this that allows you to make nails in here too, but of course I only went with the base download, but just so you know, that does exist. Now, outside of the chemistry stations, these will start showing up in the world at level 15, specifically on vendors and legendary enemies, which is kind of cool, so you can get some nail guns with some fun legendary attachments to them. And finally, there are a handful of them in the world, some, you know, unique versions that you can find out there in the Commonwealth, which is always fun to see. But let's go check out what modifications we can add to these for the time being, and start with the receiver category up here, where we've got the pretty typical sorts of things from standard to calibrated to powerful, etc., and you've got them in either semi-automatic or automatic versions, which is always good. Now, next to the magazine category, we sadly do only have one magazine. It would have been nice to have something else in here. Now, the one magazine does hold a lot of nails, but still, it would have been cool, especially with the automatic versions of this, to maybe have a drum magazine or something. Maybe we'll see that in the future, who knows, but for now, just the one. We do also have a singular rail attachment that we can add, which puts on a laser light, which is a little bit awkward. I'll talk more about that in a bit, but you can have it. There you go. And in the muzzle category, we've either got the standard, a bayonet, or, my personal favorite, a nail heater, which will add some fire damage to each of the nails that you do fire, which is magnificent. Who doesn't love burning your enemies? It's just entertaining. And then in the sights category, not a lot here, but for a nail gun, I assume it's appropriate. We have either an iron sight, reflex, Robco hollow sight, or a 4x scope if you want to snipe a little bit with a nail gun, which, okay, you do you. And then we have the mechanism, where it can either be pneumatic or electromagnetic. The electromagnetic is going to lower the fire rate, but help increase that range, making that 4x scope a little bit more useful, so you can, you know, kinda snipe with a nail gun, which is funny. And then finally we have a damage modifier, and as per usual, you guys know my opinions on these. I like them, and would prefer, though, that they had some sort of requirement so it doesn't feel so cheaty, but you can go for, you know, all the way from a negative 100 modifier if you want to add a challenge to a 100% modifier to add in more damage on this thing. So all in all, a pretty good little selection of mods. Like I said, not the most expansive list ever, but enough to keep you going for a bit. So let me grab myself our two ones we have modified here and start, of course, with our standard version and take some shots. And yeah, there you go. It has a very large plume, you know, with the whole pneumatic air system on this thing. So it can get a little bit interesting actually seeing your targets, especially once you go to the automatic versions of the gun. You basically just have a white smoke cloud in front of you all the time. But all in all, very, very nice on both the animations on this, the sounds, very controllable. I mean, it's a nail gun. You don't imagine it's going to be too crazy, but very, very fun overall. Now, let me take a look at the bayoneted one next, which is the most amount of single damage we could get. I could get a little bit more damage if I went with the heated one on here, which would then, you know, add that extra plus 10 to, you know, fire damage, but just with the base damage, 41 is the highest I could get it to, and yeah, have a sort of short-ish range sniping nail gun. Now, as you can see, now that we have the 4x scope, the nails are actually retrievable, just like with any spike launcher on here, so you can go and grab all of your ammo back up if you so desire, or, you know, just leave it out into the world for it to disappear in, you know, the long run. But yeah, overall, very, very fun on this. And then finally, I've got my flaming powerful nail gun, which does have that flaming attachment, adding in that 10 fire damage, and the laser, which I'll now talk about and how it's a little bit weird. And it's weird because it doesn't line up with the target. As you can see, the green dot is over there, is on the center point, but my actual aiming point is off target. So yeah, the laser is a bit weird, so I just think of it personally as an aesthetic item. Granted, if you're close range hip firing, it actually still will help you out, as so long as the enemy isn't too far away. But yeah, it's a little bit awkward. Now, that being said, the fire and fully automatic is just fun. But yes, with fully automatic and 60 nails being launched from this thing, yeah, you do start to actually get some slightly uncontrollable recoil on there. It is still controllable, but boy howdy is it a lot more strong than when you're just with the semi-automatic. But boy, do I love that fire effect. That is just so much fun, watching just all the things raining fire downrange. Now, let's get ourselves our usual Deathclaw companion here to play with and see how it does against one of them. I actually haven't fought one yet. I usually try at least once before, but oh boy, here we go. Eat fire! Oh boy, oh god, okay, it's doing a lot of damage, but I'm also an awful shot with automatic. Ooh, and he got me from down there. How dare you, Deathclaw. How dare you. Alright, and oh my god, yep, I'm an awful shot plus that recoil. Okay, well, he's nearly dead, so let's just charge right at him. And die, Deathclaw! Magnificent. Love it. And yeah, let's pop another one real quick just to play around with the semi-automatic version with the higher damage. Granted, it wasn't a huge amount more damage than the other, but we'll at least have some better shots on there. Oh yeah, shoot him in the back. Not as much damage, but with the increased range on the, you know, firing mechanism on this, we're still able to hit him from all the way down here. But granted, the fully automatic flaming powerful gun is just so much more fun. I mean, who doesn't want a fully automatic flaming nail gun? That's just hilarious and good times. Oh god, run away, run away, run away. He will kill me if he hits me one more time. And there we go, he is dead. Magnificent. So yeah, all in all, this is a pretty fun mod that I've had a whole lot of good times with. So if you'd like to take a look at it for yourself, which I'd certainly recommend you go and do, you can have a look at the link in the description as per usual. But that, my friends, is going to be it for this one today. Hopefully you have enjoyed and you do come back for whatever mod we do check out next. But until that time, thank you for watching, and as always, well, have a good one.